say I really enjoyed Whitefish. It's probably my favorite town. I like the atmosphere of it. The bike shop there was really cool. Glacier Cyclery.
One of my favorite towns in Montana was Glasgow, Montana, and Glasgow was really cool just because of the people, really. We were able to meet Ashley, who was a reporter in Glasgow, and she was really receptive of our trip and our mission, what we were trying to do. And then after that, we went up to the church, and up there we got involved in a block party, and a youth group from Knoxville, Tennessee was there, and we were able to really just enjoy their company and worship with them, and it was just a great way to kind of recharge our batteries and continue through Montana.
One of my favorite moments was on the ride to Troy. All the guys had kind of gotten spread out. There were two guys who were 3 miles ahead, and then there was a guy in the middle, and then there was another guy 3 miles behind, and we didn't have any cell phone reception. No way of getting in contact with each other. So the van essentially became a walkie-talkie, and I would drive up to the person in the front, talk to them, they'd give me a message, I'd ride back to the person in the middle, tell them the message, go to the person in the back, relay the information to them, and then go back to the front, send the answer. And I ended up doing this 2 or 3 times, and just thinking about it, it was a very comical scenario.
So one of my favorite moments from Montana was actually a set of rapids that we got to explore a little bit off to the side of the highway. We climbed up on a suspended bridge, and we hiked through the woods a bit and climbed up on some rocks, and it was raining pretty hard while we were doing it, and the water was just rushing pretty fast, and it was just pretty cool to see how powerful the river was, and read about the history of the area as well.
Favorite meal in Montana was at the Bax's house when we did burgers and just a ton of fruit salad, which was awesome. And so that was my favorite meal.
My favorite meal was probably at the Millers. We were riding all day, and we really didn't know where to stay that night. And me and Will went up to this place called Majestic View Ministry, and we met the Millers and their family, and they cooked us an amazing meal. And they gave us a place to stay, and it was just incredible seeing God's provision over us during a time when we really didn't know where to go or where we were going to eat that night. And everything just seemed to work out just perfectly.
Circle, Montana. We went to the Rusty Nickel, or as everyone else in the world knows it, the Wooden Nickel. And we were trying to figure out what we wanted to eat. Hadn't eaten since earlier that afternoon. And they had a special there called The Bomb. And it was the bomb. By far the best burrito I've had in my entire life. And it was massive. It was so big. And I enjoyed every bite of it.
One of my favorite meals was when we got to Malta, Montana, and we got a new visitor, and it was our first person to come from out of state, came on his Harley, 1,100 miles from Boulder, Colorado, all the way up to Malta, Montana. And he took us out for some steak, and Bill Vorlich was just an awesome guy to meet and a really good encourager for us.
I would say my favorite meal from Montana was probably at the Browns. Just getting in from our Eureka escapades, just a couple days of tough riding, and to be able to just kind of relax by the lake and have a great meal with the family and just talk about our awful experiences of the past day was pretty funny. And just to, we kind of took it as a day off almost, and it was really refreshing.
Hardest moment was the 30-mile stretch, getting into Eureka when it was just like sleeting and snowing, and I couldn't feel from my knees down or like my elbows up. It was just, I was just had poor circulation. It was horrible. We had the duct tape gloves to try to keep our fingers warm, and that was just a miserable day of riding for us.
Probably my hardest moment was going into Havre from Shelby, and it was our first 100-mile day, which just mentally is kind of tough to be able to take because you do 50 miles and you're only halfway done for the day. And so we just, kept on going. And about mile marker 80, so we still had only 20 miles left, and it just started rumbling, and the road started getting really bad conditions, and it started to get really hot, which we weren't used to because we were just coming through the snow, and those 80 mile, right at the 80 mile marker, it was really, really definitely tough.
The hardest moment was honestly leaving Montana because I enjoyed it thoroughly, and it was such a beautiful state, and there was so much diversity, and seeing the horses run around in open fields and seeing incredible landscape like Glacier. It was really saddening to have to leave such a beautiful and awesome state.